And the next thing about disability is Asia, another part of the world, not Europe. Showing my daughter a video of the lady who didn't have any arms. I don't fully know her story, but I know she has no arms. But she does everything. She literally eats crab. I mean, many people can't even eat crabs with their hands. She could write with her mouth. She could cook. She could dress herself. She doesn't need help with any of these things, which is amazing. And you see the interviewer asking her family, like, how's it? And they're like, how's what? As in, it's normal. As in, what's the big deal? As in, yeah, doesn't have arms, that's fine. And they asked the lady, how do you feel without arms? She's like, what do you mean? I do. I have hands. They're my feet. And they really are. She has multi-talented feet. The rest of us have feet that are sort of good for one thing. That's called walking. Her feet are good for multiple things, including kneading dough, buttoning shirts. Yeah. And you think about the difference in how people view stuff, right? What is a crutch versus what is helpful and going to help you improve? I saw some wheelchair skaters. There was one guy who's a pioneer in the sport. It's obviously heavily modified wheelchair so they can stand shocks and stuff. But they do some sort of skateboarding activities with their wheelchairs and they're wheelchair bound. And it's like, well, Germany, Switzerland, very rich countries, they can afford to help these people with disabilities. And then you look at people in the countryside, rural Asia, who live a normal life even though they're missing hands. I mean, isn't that amazing? The question I have is whether the people in Europe, say, who are missing hands, would ever develop such abilities. They have to say the answer is probably no. I don't think there is a clear definition of what's a crutch versus what's helpful, what's assistive versus what's harmful, what's enabling versus what's disabling. But I know that I haven't seen amazing people like that in Europe. I don't think it's that it's not possible. I think it's that their environment makes it nigh near impossible. And they use even more than Europe in the sense of making things impossible because you tell people no, you can't do that. You have this idea from very early on that they have to be abnormal, different, because they're missing this or they're missing that. And I think people don't. And when you tell them don't feel sorry for yourself, it's not really the way it works, right? It's just a negative. But these people say, hey, I could do it. Like, let's do it. Are these the people the parents don't give more time to? The parents don't help, just expect them to figure out how to do it themselves? The parents actually teach them how to use their feet? I would dare say no, because how do the parents know how to use their feet to do all these things? They have hands. And I feel like that's one big thing when you have a kid. You think about when is it good to tell them, no, you can't do that. You tried hard. You're giving it your best. Versus when you say, yeah, keep on trying. You could do it. Whatever you put your mind to, you could do. I don't know how, but I know you can. Is it that the parents believed in them versus rather they just had an expectation? And it's not so much belief in a sense of encouragement versus belief in a sense of expectation. Because I could tell you that what many people admire in America, and I would guess Western culture, is belief. as in saying, "Yes, you can." My wife saw a mother at a park, her son's like, "Oh, this is hard." And she pushed him and he did it. He's like, "You should feel proud of yourself. You did it." I would hope these kids got a lot of encouragement, but I'd venture to say that wasn't a deal breaker in their case, because I can't imagine that it's easy to learn to do everything with their hands, but they did because they didn't have any way else.